Welcome back. Now, for years, the conversation around women's empowerment has been front and center, and for good reason. Historically, society has placed men in positions of greater power, leaving women to fight for the equal opportunities in both personal and sometimes professional spaces. Now, this ongoing struggle has led to important discussions about gender equality and how we can move towards a more balanced world. In her debut book, The Modern Men's Guide, Cracking the Code on Women and Relationships, Marbeline Sabatha takes on this challenge, offering insights to help bridge the gap between men and women in relationships. She now joins us in studio to share more about her book and the conversation it hopes to spark. Marbeline, good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Tremendously blessed, especially because it's Independence Day today, and the inauguration of our first female president. So congratulations to both of us, all of us in the country. And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Let's get right into it. The Modern Men's Guide, Cracking the Code on Women and Relationships. That's quite an intriguing title. So tell us about what inspired you to write this specific book.
Yeah. Initially, it was really just being confused about coming with having a background of an extensive communications. It was just about how couples could not resolve issues. I just could not understand why, if you said you had a problem with me and I said I had a problem, we couldn't sit down and resolve the issue. It was really just baffling to me. Gradually, as I really began to understand that men and women perceive things differently, men and women see things differently and interpret things differently, it grew into me really seeing a massive shift in the gender dynamics in terms of whereas men were previously in a dominant position, it now felt like women was filling up that space because of gender, because of women empowerment initiatives.
Yes.
And it was strong. And you can see that reflected in what is happening today with us having now a female president. That means that honestly, women are not backing down and they are going full force all the way. This has made men very angry. And I'm not saying it because I'm mocking them or I'm trying to be funny, but it is just really coming from a place where, from the time where you were born, you were raised as this individual that you are the top, you are the leader, you are the head of the house. You must protect, you must take care, don't cry. And you felt like, okay, if women needed something or if a woman wanted advice, I'm the one that she must come to. All of a sudden, that is gone. And not enough was done to prepare men for that transition, to deal with these empowered women. And so that's really what inspired this book within me, because I just felt like nobody is doing a lot, or not nobody's doing something, because that's not true. But I felt like there was not enough being done. And I thought maybe if I speak to a few psychologists, do a couple of interviews, I could contribute to that discussion, hence the birth of Modern Men's Guide.
In an effort to provide balance in terms of perspective on where men come from, where women come from, how does your book encourage men's empowerment without reinforcing sort of ousted or outdated stereotypes? Because, gender roles in relationships can be a very, very tricky subject.
Absolutely, 100%. On the contrary, my book challenges men to question, to challenge these gender stereotypes, because it's not working. It's not working anymore. Women have grown in the way that they think, in the way that they see things, in the way that they behave, and men are left behind in that place where they still feel like they are in charge, and unfortunately it's just not the case. So my book is really encouraging men to sort of have a paradigm shift and look at gender equality and their roles from a different vantage point, from a different perspective. I, in the book, really encourage men to merge the traditional and the modern aspects of these stereotypes. For instance, we are telling men from the traditional perspective, even our children, some of us still do it. Well, I don't, because I wrote that book, but like, men don't cry. I will never encourage my child not to cry. Or men must be strong, or no matter what, men must make sure that his family is fine. It's a lot of pressure. And then on the other hand, from a modern perspective, we're like, no, but you really need to be more soft. Where's your vulnerable side? You should cry more. You know, you're holding in a lot. And men are confused, like, what is going on? So this book is really encouraging men to merge the two, because it can work. You can be strong and you can be vulnerable at the same time. So my book is encouraging them really to just merge.
On the point of merging sort of old values with, you know, more newer values, what key strategies do you address in terms of navigating modern relationships between men and women?
Well, communication is key. Communication is key. One of the things that I really encourage men to do in this book is to not redefine, but re-look how they perceive being, what makes them to be a masculinity in their mind. What are actually the things that makes you to be a man? And it's such a personal journey, I have learned. And in this book, Communicating, chapter 1, which I started with, deals with communication, where I'm really asking men to look at the way that they talk, for instance. Men are known for not talking.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind that talks. I'm not the kind that opens up, like, am I a sissy? Am I going to tell you, like, what? You see, strategies in this book is you can't, it's not working.
Yeah.
You have to talk. You have to come to a place where if you see that you and your partner is struggling, you must be comfortable enough to come to her and say, okay, my wife, my girlfriend, I can see you're not happy.
These
What's
might
wrong?
be deep-rooted psychological
absolutely.
Issues that you touch on
Yeah.
in this book, Marbeline. And so do you believe that, you know, what you're providing in terms of solution are the right steps forward? Have you thought of it from that perspective as well, that, you know, these are
Yeah.
childhood wounds and et cetera, that they might be dealing with?
And hence the psychologist. Because I'm not a psychologist, I'm not going to tell men how to behave. I really needed, because of that question, I needed to get professional perspectives. So I interviewed psychologists, I interviewed relationship experts, I interviewed men, and I interviewed women. Because I'm not just going to put something down on paper and sell it to be a modern man's guide. That's insane. So yes, I did a lot of research. It's literally a manual. It's a manual. It's like a step-by-step guide. When you're communicating with your partner, what should you do and what should you not do? And as basic as it sounds, literally these are the things that men don't do. Because of why? I'm the master, I'm the chief. Like, if you have a problem, then I'm not talking, you talk, you deal with it. So it's like creating a manual for men, because they've not come on board in this modern time. Hence the modern guide, a part of it. But literally step by step, jealousy. If you experience feelings of jealousy, what is happening in your body? What is causing you to feel that way? What can you do in terms of introspection to question yourself, but why? If I'm controlling my partner, where is it coming from? And like, really, solutions are there in terms of just helping you to deal with these things and to come out at a better place. That's really the whole point of this book.
As you said, sort of men are being left behind in this evolution of how women are re-identifying themselves, their needs, their wants, etc., the spaces that they find themselves in, and even just, you know, what feminism means to them. And there's now sort of a strong emphasis on men's sort of self-improvement in relationships, or, you know, to catch up or to come to the party. Don't you think that this sort of unintentionally places too much responsibility on men for the relationship to succeed?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't think it's taking anything away from men for a relationship to succeed. In fact, I will start that question off by answering that to be in a successful relationship really transcends gender. Like, does it matter if I'm a man or a woman to be a respectful person? Does it matter if I am a man or a woman to not cheat? Does it matter if I'm a man or a woman to trust you? It does not matter. And so, really, this entire book, in terms of men and becoming more self-aware, has got to do with taking accountability.
Yes.
Not for your partner, not for the universe, not for the world, not for the traditional aspect of it, and not for the modern, but for yourself. I encourage in this book to ask yourself, am I a great partner? Or am I a great boyfriend or a husband? But to ask yourself, what kind of a human am I? Because ultimately, you want to be a person that people like.
Yeah.
And whether you are in a relationship or not is inconsequential.
Yes.
Who are you? What kind of a person are you?
Yeah.
And literally, chapter by chapter in this book is dealing with self-improvement, holding yourself accountable to yourself in order for you to be a better partner for your better person for your partner. And if you are a better person, I will be a better person as your partner. And somebody asked me the other day, is a woman really in a position to be able to write a book for men on
in 2025?
In 2025. Like, who do you think you are, lady?
And what was your response?
And my response was absolutely, because women are the ones that are in the relationships with these men. And since you are so closed off, and since you're not coming from an emotional perspective, and since you have not made the paradigm shift into the modern, absolutely women are in a position to be more insightful and say like, but look, maybe this is what you can do. And really, this is what this book is in 9 chapters.
Marbeline, lastly, where can individuals get a copy of the book, or get in touch with you if they've got some questions?
Yeah, I'm on my social media. You can definitely find my email there. You can get the book from me. You can place your orders through email. You can inbox me. What is this, DM, which I still don't know this lingo.
Direct message.
Direct message me. You can call me. You can text me. I am in conversation with 2 or 3 bookshops here in the country. I cannot mention them yet because it's not a closed deal. But I'm 100% sure it's going to happen because I'm a woman and we've got a female president and we're doing things, right? And so they'll also be available online. Once the book is launched on the 3rd of April.
Fantastic.
But I will absolutely share all of this information then. Please come to the launch. Everybody, it's a great book. It's a fun book. It's not so serious like it sounds. It's fun, it's insightful. Your life will change after you read it. For all women, women should buy it for men, and men should buy it for self-improvement.
Marbeline, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you all the best, not only with the success of this book, but all your future endeavors as well.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. That was Marbeline Sabatha speaking.